Welcome everyone to Robot Builders Night Virtual for October 15th, 2024. And we're going to do the usual go around. We've got a queue and then we'll throw it open for roundtable. Call being recorded. So if you don't want to be recorded, turn your camera off and turn your mic off. So with that, let's see. Kareem, I saw you had a fun topic. So how about we start off with Kareem's fun topic?
All right. Yeah, it was just a question to the group. How loud should my robot be? It's that damn simple.
You go to put like a speaker that you can talk into it, and
yeah. So the idea is that a robot with vocal capabilities. I know that there's both text to speech and speech to text, or but I'm considering different operating environments. Worst case, it could be from a quiet bedroom all the way up to a construction site. And the question is, how loud do you make the damn thing? If you want it to be heard in a variety of environments, and whether you need to, should a robot be able to yell?
Well, the clear answer from a robot perspective is it should have a sensor that senses the environment and determines from there how much amplification it needs to be heard, right?
Yeah, but that's just understanding the context of the particular environment. There's still a maximum amplitude that you're going to design into any system, right? So, should it should it be as loud as that rock band from Douglas Adams, or
Back to the Future?
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, it shouldn't be. You can be as loud as you want to, but you shouldn't be startling or, detrimental, I guess. Like, especially very quick, loud noises. Where you might startle someone in a crowd, and you may have unintended results, right? But I think from a society perspective, you still have to keep it in check, right? I mean, a construction site's obviously going to be a lot different than, a room full of people. But, I think you're right. You got to put it in context at some point. What is appropriate for the environment?
Well, physics is going to limit you to some extent in terms of how big a speaker you can put in the thing.
Yeah, and cost too, right? And what is the appropriate level for most circumstances? And you're going to make different decisions based on whether it's a primarily indoor robot or outdoor robot and stuff like that. I'm just looking for a general, why do humans have such an ability to, yell it up to 100 decibels or something like that? Sometimes some people can scream even louder than that. So, there's emergency situations, and then if you're trying to get somebody's attention, like you're about to run them over and you lost your ability to control the wheels or something like that. Or do you just have a secondary system, like a backup alarm on a car or a truck that can
So I had some
alert people
to experience in this, which was why I threw you in at the deep end.
Sure.
So are you all seeing this picture of a robot?
Yep.
So this was one I worked on, and up in the front here is a camera and audio and microphone subsystem, which I was responsible for. Actually took the design over from a contractor when they so that they did the design, and then I brought it into the Ross environment. But this is kind of a fun little video, but I don't have specific recommendations as far as decibels. In fact, we didn't actually measure the number of decibels that I'm aware of, and but one thing that I thought was relevant, and just see if he turns around.
Does the speaker work underwater?
It survives immersion. It's waterproof. Oh, let me just back it up just a little bit. Yeah, so right in there is the vision and audio and microphone module, but the thing that I wanted to offer is we had two different sizes of robots, and different made during different time frames, different designs, and let's see, the first one. So we had this little one that I was working on, and then we had this in the middle-sized one that someone else was working on, and the consultants who had designed the audio for mine used a TI audio system that did sound processing, and the people who designed the audio system for this, because it had the same thing, a microphone and a speaker. It was, these are PACbot type things that are intended to send down a tunnel, and then you can talk to someone at the end of the tunnel, and hear what they're saying. It sounded awful. It sounded muffled, like difficult to understand. And the one that I worked on was just clear as a whistle, and both of them had the same speaker. It was one of those little one and a half inch speakers that just barely fit in that space.
Tiny little fella, yeah. Same amplifier too?
No, completely different audio electronics. And the point that I wanted to offer you is just sticking the natural thing that you do, right, is take your audio coming out of like a G streamer or something and pipe it into a D-to-A and that into an audio amplifier and connect that to the speaker. And that's what they've done for this one. And it doesn't work so great. Those little tinny speakers just are low fidelity. And what they had done with this one was the TI, this is a TI chipset, signal processing chipset, that is designed for cell phones, for making cell phones as clear as they can be using, how tiny the speaker in a cell phone is. It's like a fraction of an inch. But yeah, it does a decent job. And so they had like echo cancellation and all kinds of effects processing that I was not privy to exactly what the design was. The consultants had the TI tool and modeled it in a room or something. And anyway, that's all I can offer, is that in my experience, clarity comes every bit as much from the sound processing that's done on the way to the speaker as it does from the volume coming out of the speaker.
Yeah, sure. But so I'm talking about like a RAWS robot where it's got a regular PC on board. So, the quality is usually fine. I don't believe it's like trying to model for the specific output characteristics of a particular speaker amplifier arrangement or anything complicated like that. But I think the clarity should probably be fine as long as an appropriate amplifier is put in place.
And an appropriate speaker and speaker box, I would think.
Housing and all that, yeah.
Yeah,
But it
and-
really only needs to be tuned for mid-range frequencies, right? So sort of bordering on woofer almost, if you want male voices, because that's pretty low bass harmonics.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's all I can offer is that just what you're describing when driving a tiny speaker did not work so well but with appropriate sound processing based on modeling, it actually was surprisingly good.
Well, I love Pat's answer of 60 decibels above ambient. That should do the trick.
And I can give you another thing based on what Google tells me, which is sounds above 85 dB are considered to be hazardous, but depending upon how long it is exposed to it. So yeah, there are variables out there.
And distance, yeah.
Anything from 0 to 140, seemingly.
Yeah, I can't imagine normally needing a robot to be above like 70 decibels, but again, it can there can be exigent circumstances, and the question is, should you design for that kind of thing, like an audio alarm in the base speaker system, or maybe that's better served by a specific alarm type of thing. You can get, $7 backup alarms on Amazon, and just to get somebody's attention.
So
you're asking a requirements question here, Pat.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll show you the chart. This is sort of an interesting chart because it actually talks about how long and sounds and types of sounds. So let me see if I can share you a screen. Once I figure out where it is.
And by the way, I did post a link to an entire ChatGPT discussion in the.
So here's an example of very loud, dangerous over 30 minutes type thing. So car horns, 110, 3D player, very loud, 100. So dangerous after 30 minutes. Hair dryers or 90s, lawnmowers. Those, alarm clocks around 80 seemingly. So this is, some of the list. And painful and dangerous fireworks, I got 140, which I was wondering about that. And jackhammers are 130. So hopefully that gives you some ideas. So part of the question is how long and your environment.
Yeah, this is really a requirements question, and as the requirements engineer, I would throw it back to you, Kareem, to state the requirements.
Well, but that's exactly why I'm asking for input from everybody. What should the requirements be? It's opinions I'm looking for, not. I mean, I know what I'll end up doing as a first, as a stopgap. It's going to be a 10-watt USB speaker.
Where are you going to
see how it works, right? Huh?
Where are you deploying the robot? What's its environment?
This is an outdoor robot meant to be like a sentry.
Okay. Well, the key I would say is not over 100, especially if it's over 30 minutes and you're nearby it.
Well, it would almost never be at that volume, right? You would again, it would be adaptive to ambient and try to be just a few decibels above ambient. But the question is where should it max out?
Well, around 90, 100, it looks like to me for 30 minutes because hair dryers seemingly are around 90. Give you an example of noise level.
Yeah, but you could argue that that's excessive as well. I mean,
for a sentry, an alarm clock loudness seems like it would be appropriate.
Yeah, because there could be situations where you want to startle somebody.
Yeah.
And that's 80.
But it could happen for over a very short period too.
Right.
Yeah, but an alarm clock at 80 decibels, is that going to be 10 feet away? I don't think so.
Yeah, so it's one thing if it's right next to you next to your bed. It's another thing if you're outside and there's big trucks driving by, you'd hardly even notice an alarm clock in some situations.
Put an alarm clock on your front lawn and stand 20 feet away and it's barely making any noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. So how far away is the robot going to be from someone you wish to communicate with?
So if you want to draw attention to somebody or something, you know, outside as a sensory robot, you may want to be at 100 or 110 decibels.
It depends on how dangerous you want it to be to the poor person who's hearing it.
I don't want it to be dangerous. I want it to be effective at garnering their attention.
Okay, well, because right here it says 80 above 80 to 110 loud general rules.
Yeah, I'm well aware of the danger side of things. This is more about what should be the goal.
I think this table that John's sharing is not helpful in as much as it doesn't deal with the effects of distance.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
a sensory robot clearly has to, you know, you got to consider how far away it's going to want to be heard from whatever is supposed to hear it.
Well, it sounds like 80 and above is the answer. If you really want it to be, no, it's 85 and above.
Well, ultimately, I know that it's going to be
oversize it, and then reduce as needed.
Yeah. Or do the opposite and work your way up as needed. It's like, you know, I can't imagine that I'll have the right solution right out of the gate. Again, unless I build it for just absolute maximum and then just tone it down. But yeah, I also don't want to be carrying an extra weight of a larger speaker and amplifier and stuff around. So
Google advises that sound level reduces by 6 dB per doubling of distance. So there you have it. That should help you with if you assume your alarm clock is 80 dB when it's like beside your bed, so it's maybe half a meter away, double that to 2 meter, and it should be 72. Or you got to add 60 dB to it and double that again to 2 meters, and you add 12 dB to it. So, you know, you're getting up, you pretty soon are going to be getting up towards 100 dB, I think.
Or Kareem, I just had an idea. Make it sound like an infant crying, and it doesn't have to be very loud.
Yeah, that's something we're tuned into pretty rapidly.
Get a sound pressure meter and find what's obnoxious when you're close by it, and then subtract 6 dB for every doubling of that distance up to whatever your maximum distance that you want to sound that loud at is, and there's your number.
All right, cool. I just wanted to have the discussion, that's all.
All right. Well, that was fun. Thank you. Next up, Ted.
Okay. Yeah, so I have something to present. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so wait, can't.
Ted, are you coming to, I know you're in Colorado, but are you coming to Robo Columbus?
I am still planning to do that, yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, that'll be fun. Anyways, I found the SparkFun optical tracking odometry sensor, which is kind of cool. It's for more special cases where you're on a flat reflective surface. So, you know, it won't work very well with an outdoor robot. But the interesting thing about it is it does fusion with a Kalman filter between the, it's got a IMU and the optical tracking sensor, which is like a mouse sensor. Anyways, it fuses those two to get a location. And the really cool part is it's all open source, so you can see how they implemented it. And even better, they have a MATLAB simulation that you can run. And so to me, this was like the Rosetta Stone of how Kalman filters work. And it's well documented code, and yeah, really good stuff.
Are you sharing or going to?
Well,
share?
I tried sharing my screen. For some reason, it wouldn't let me. I can try again.
Oh.
Let's see. Maybe if I try the window. All right, let's try this. Oh, now you're seeing it. Okay. So yeah, if you go down here to the, where is it? Is it, and I can't, yeah, the GitHub repo. You can go in and see the source code and everything. And somewhere here.
Didn't our Australian friend experiment with some optical flow sensor? Maybe it's the same one. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a slightly different one that SparkFun created. So
Kareem, haven't you experimented with one of
Yeah.
them?
I'm sorry, with one of what?
One of these optical flow sensors?
Yeah, the one that SparkFun is selling, which is the same one that Murray was advocating for.
So is it the same one that Ted is showing?
I believe that's it.
So
it's,
the,
that's the actual
Yeah.
sensor, that PAA 5160E1.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to check, but if it's the one that needs to be 1 inch above the,
Murray had one from Pimaroni.
yeah, that is a Pimaroni part.
Yeah, this one's 10 to 27 millimeters.
Yeah, that's the one.
But yeah, the cool thing about this is they added an IMU to it. At
Yep,
least
it has an IMU, and we tested it, and it works pretty damn
Oh, okay.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not sure. We haven't gotten around to finishing our testing with it, like in terms of maximum speed before it'll lose tracking. And there's only one surface that we sort of care that much about, which is these foam tiles that we're on, and it does it pretty well.
Okay.
2.5 meters per second there are some robots in our competition that'll go faster than that.
Yeah.
And the question is, just because it says 2.5 meters per second, what does that actually mean in real terms, right?
Right. How much error do you get with
Yeah.
that?
Exactly.
And Pat Michaud, I'm not sure if that's the right way to say his name, also had tried out one of them.
He pronounces it Michoud. His last name is Michoud.
Michoud.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, so Ted, Kareem and Pat are a couple of resources if you're thinking about using one of them who've actually got real world experience with it.
Well, like I was saying, I'm not at all interested in using it, but what got my attention was the code where they had a Kalman filter implementation and they had a simulator for how the Kalman filter works.
Oh.
So it's very well documented. So it's a very good introduction onto how to implement a Kalman filter.
Interesting.
just in case your mouse was too small, you could have one that size there in the picture.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, that's all I had. It's just kind of an interesting product they had.
Cool. Okay. Well, moving on. I'm very well, I'm sort of excited, sort of not. So Mobot is getting ready for Robo Columbus, and I'm going to see if I can approach this camera down here and have a look at him. And let's see. So if we press the button, come on, Mobot. Oh, you're already awake. Okay. And let's just start up a couple of programs and put them into bit mode.
Yeah, Pat, you probably don't need obstacle avoidance on that thing. If you get stuck in the weeds, you can just mow your own path. I mean,
It's a good idea.
Right.
Would that not constitute damaging the course?
Might be improving it.
yeah.
So if you pin me, or maybe you don't even need to. So I'm operating it from an Xbox controller. So and so this is I anticipate that it will work equally well, and I haven't actually tried this, so I'm going to go for a blind demo here. To run, what's it called? What's to run my I'm forgetting the name of my programs that I wrote. Scripted bot driver. Scripted mover. Move 1. And let's see if he moves 1 meter. Move. How do you invoke the thing? I forgot how to. Oh, that's right. I got to start a daemon. Oh, ROS2 launch. That's right. Got to launch. Well, I forgot all the. Anyway, it'll. Given that it works off of a joystick, it will work off of the scripted bot driver. So that was, I hadn't. I'd made all the scripted bot driver stuff work on ROS2, but I'd never ported the mower interface code to ROS2. So I've now done that. And let's see, that's right. Looks like that. So now got the low-level robot driver code ported to ROS2, and also got the GPS interface going again. That hadn't worked since, gosh, not long after last Robo Columbus. So so I expect RTK GPS will come to life pretty quickly. I've been having just awful, nightmarish problems with ROS2 topic discovery and pinging Kareem for his insights, and it's making me crazy at the moment. So I gotta work through that. But all that to say, I got a moving robot, so I guess I can get a go. I guess I can get a gold star for that.
Just keep the mower deck off while it's inside.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have any services that actually turn the blades on just yet. Well, no, I do have a service, but not a client. But yeah, it's fairly separate. The other thing that I made, which I was kind of proud of.
Hey, Paul,
Yep.
when you talk about services for the blades, is there any kind of arming for the blades, or if your bot is powered up, are the blades armed and just a bit flip away from spinning?
There's no arming really. You know, if you send it the right command, it'll start the blade spinning.
Okay. Cool.
And so this is something else I made. Very excited about the 3D printer talk that that John and Doug gave, and mentioned last week that I'd found that the GPS antenna, when mounted directly onto the robot, would cause it to lose RTK lock, and hypothesized that as a possible reason for missing the cone on the first cone on last Robo Columbus. So I made myself a little leg thing here, and printed it. And what was really pretty neat, let's see, let me just switch screens here real quick and open up a project. Where are my projects? Customer home. My unshaped documents. Here we go. And here we go. I'll open up this one and share it. And I got to say, I am in love with Onshape, because it let me. Okay, so I designed this. So there's a couple of things here. The design actually only had to be a quarter of this, and because it's symmetrical across two axes, I could mirror it that way and then mirror the whole thing that way, and so that saved a ton of work in modeling it. I did make a little strengthening bar on the leg, but what I really like is the assembly. So I was experimenting with putting the what if I put a cell phone sort of like underneath it, behind it, and put an Oak D light in front of it, and basically I found that it's going to interfere with the legs, and that was what John had said. One of the main values of assembly modeling is for checking for fit and interference, and now I know there's just not really any place you can put it. Even if I put it like under there, then I've still got a problem of looking out past these legs unless I hang it down way low. So all of that to say that the 3D modeling stuff I found it very helpful. Anyway, that's I think that's all I had was progress on Mobot, and I'm only here for 3 more weeks, so I got 3 more weeks to try and make it run, but that may be enough. So that's all I had. Pat?
Well, I just had a very short just update. I've been working on my robot and frantically working on my robot and trying to get it ready for next week because the 26th is coming quickly. Basically, I have still working with my mosquito communication background. I've got quite a bit of data coming across now through it, and I'm not really seeing any latency at all. So I've managed to find some bugs in my program that was giving me lots of trouble, and it's been going actually quite well. I have my left mix sense sensor giving me back 9 readings for the vision divided by into 9 cells. I have the right one giving me back my distances. They're not mounted in final position yet. I have a left time of flight sensor, just a sharpened infrared time of flight sensor, left and right. I've got my battery voltage. I've got a bumper signal, which I don't have a bumper hooked to, and I've got a flag. I don't know why I have a flag, but I have a flag there, just a one. They tell me it's going. I get back motor data, which is my encoder position. Right now, you see the 50 and the 50. That's my loop times for my calculations of speed in milliseconds. I have my arbitrator running, and that's the value he's sending out right now because he's not getting anything from anyone. I have once a second is GPS data coming through. So I've got my latitude, longitude. 11 is, oh, satellites, number of satellites, 11. And again, 1 as a flag, which I don't really use for anything. Sensor data on my compass, 91 degrees, and a flag, 1. So I've got all sorts of data coming through. And if I run it, you can just see the data spitting across. As I watch the data, when I spin the robot around, watching my compass, I see my data changing. Change my command speed to my wheels, it changes right away. So I'm getting a pretty good response on everything. I'm at the point now where I'm just trying to tie everything together and get my routines all up and running. So it's hopefully looking promising. I still got quite a bit of work to do before next week. And I was hoping Tom would be on the call. I've been emailing Tom back and forth a couple times the last couple days. And he's in the same boat. I know that he's frantically trying to get his code working and see what can go. So that's our plan. The other one I do have, you can see up on the screen, average load. And it's bouncing around anywhere from 1.4, 1.5 down to 0.6 of the CPU, which is way better than the 100% CPU on every application I tried to launch. So I have several of them running now, and my CPU usage is adequate right now, I think. So I still have work to do on my Max Cam. This guy that I was running, I have a code detection routine written or working for it, but I'm in the process of trying to get the USB communication working and the auto start. So how do I get the program to auto start on the camera as soon as it's plugged in so that it's always spitting out USB data for where it thinks the phones are? So that's that's what I've been up to.
You can't just flash the make sense and with it, with your model and.
I do flash it, but it still needs to be started up manually through the menu.
Oh, huh.
So I haven't figured out how to get it to auto start.
Yeah.
Is there a CLI that you can command line interface to start it? Or API to start it?
Not that I know of. So right now there is an IDE you can use to program it, Max Vision, and I can start it from Max Vision. But as far as USB communication, I wouldn't be writing anything to the camera. I would just be reading a signal from the camera, basically XY location for a cone and how far it thinks it's away, where on the screen and how far away.
So how do you normally start it?
Well, like the little the A010 makes sense sensors I'm using. Can I unplug one?
Hey Pat, did you look at making an application out of it? And
so these guys here that I'm using for my time of flight sensors, they just plug them in, you issue a command to them, and they start spitting out data in whatever you've asked for.
But I mean, the Max Sense. How do you use the IDE to start it normally?
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
I know you want to start
the Max Cam. When I'm programming it, I use the Max Vision to start it, and it's I don't have the application on the Raspberry Pi, and there's not that I don't think there's an API to say, hey, click the connect button and click the start button. You'd have to connect to it, so you've got to basically connect to the camera. So it tries to open the USB ports. It looks for where the camera is, so it's either a USB Ethernet connection or a Wi-Fi connection to the camera, and then from there you would have to tell it to pick which connection you want, and then tell it which program you want to open, which folder you want to open, which program you want to run, and run it. I don't see how I could do that all from
in a week.
Well, I don't see how I could do it at all, really. So that's part of my issue. I'm working on it. I'm working my way through it.
I haven't done it, but I thought you could make, your code like an application that you could start from the touch screen. I don't know if that would work.
Yeah, so it's something that I really wish that it's something that just you plug the camera in, you set it up, you give it an application. So I've tried putting it in RC locals to see if it works. I'm going to try that again to launch the application in Python in RC locals on boot, rc.local, I think it is, and see if it starts spitting out USB data over the serial bus.
Okay.
Because it should be able to run it automatically. They do talk about several different ways to do it. I've tried a couple of them, and so far without luck.
Yeah. It is bleeding edge. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's bleeding edge. So when I launch it in the Max Vision tool, I do see my application running on the screen. So when I tried to launch it several different ways, my application is never running on the screen. And that's sort of what's getting me. Okay, so what's happening? Why does it not look like it's launching?
Yeah.
And there's not much help out there on the camera module itself.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it again, but I thought you could basically, I thought there was an option in Max Hub that you could actually make an application on it, and the application would show up on the touch screen, like if you scrolled through, and you could select it and run it. But
Yeah, so there is something, and it's taken me a while to figure it out. And I found that I needed the ID. So the essentially not the process ID, but the application ID, and it's like a 6 or 7 digit number. And I finally found that number. It's on Max Hub. So
okay.
it's just that number. So I'm going to give that one more shot to say, okay, I'm going to launch a Max Hub application with this ID number, and see if I can get it to launch automatically that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did one with just blob detection. It was pretty simple to do, and you just kind of scroll through the different apps on the touch screen in the back and select it, and it would, you know, start up. And
well, I've had pretty good luck. I used Doug's images and XML data, and that used some of Bob Cook's data as well that he had in there.
Yeah.
And I put all that together. I trained it on Max Hub, and then basically downloaded the program into the camera, and then I can run it from the Max Vision software.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't played around with it in a while. I'd have to get re-familiar with it again.
What does the MagSense look like when you plug it into the Raspberry Pi? Does it look like a serial port and spitting out data on any cones it found? And
I can show you if I can get it plugged back in. Okay. Got plugged back in. Got, well, I got 2 of them on there, but I will kill a bunch of stuff.
you should show your cool visual compass that you showed last week, because a few people on the call that haven't seen it that weren't here last week, and that is just the coolest darn thing.
Okay, well, I was just going to be a couple minutes, but I guess I'm longer than that.
You're doing some cool stuff, Pat.
So I don't know if everybody can see. I've got an orange light and a blue light. So the blue light is pointing sort of north, and as I turn my robot, the light follows north. So that's basically, I'm going to use that for a couple different indications. So the idea with the orange one is there's my target. I see the cone, or the orange is the cone that I see with the camera. The blue is the heading that I'm traveling in. So I'll be able to do a little bit of troubleshooting as you're standing off the side of the robot without having to hold a computer or a laptop and see what's going on.
I think it's just so cool.
So I've got that, and then let's kill a few more things here. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to just put it in troubleshoot mode so that I can display some graphics. Okay. And share my screen again. So there you can see I have the camera, that little MagSense A010, and they were in the $35 range, I think. I have it in 25 by 25 pixels, and I have it basically generating an image, and I return the numbers that are being displayed in each of the boxes. So which is centimeters. And looking at it roughly, it's working fairly well. When I aim it away, I'm depending where in the picture, I'm 2 feet away from the wall, but there's some obstacles on both sides. So I do get, 59 centimeters is about 2 feet, and 44 is, I don't know, about 1.5 feet. So just to give you an idea what's going on.
Those are the raw distance readings, but last week I think you showed it doing inferencing, right? And detecting a cone.
Okay, that's a different sensor. So that is my camera, and let me do that.
Oh, so the max sense is for obstacle avoidance.
I got a max sense for obstacle avoidance. I've got a max cam for cones. And I run this. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get my laptop because it's easier to run it from my laptop.
Well, while he's getting set up, Harold, welcome.
Hey, programs, how you doing?
Are you? I'm guessing you'd like to talk about what you posted on the Discord.
Absolutely. I am currently right now in the lab makerspace here in Richardson, setting up a print on one of their Carbon X1 printers that I have access to. I've got my printer printing away. I got my A1 printing away, and I'm going to set up my Ender 3 to print away too. And I've got a couple of friends that have some other printers, and they're going to be printing away as well. So, Polymaker, the 3D printer stuff, and a cat named Loyal Moses, which is the
Tell
largest.
you what, if I can interrupt you, Harold, can I suggest we finish?
Oh, certainly.
And then you'll have undivided attention. Doesn't seem right to split.
Yeah. No, I thought you wanted me to go ahead and talk while we were setting up. And,
I was just giving you a heads up to say, hey, I assume you're going to want to, and so I can put you in the queue.
Oh, it's all right. I've been told to shut up before. It's okay.
But have you been told so nicely?
Yeah, but never as nice as that. I will tell you that. All right. Yeah, put me in the queue. Like I said, I'm on a phone. I'm on a phone right now, so we'll see how it all going to work. Because I don't know how long I'll be here, but we'll see what happens. One way or another, we'll talk about it. All right.
Okay, so Pat's firing up his Max cam. So do you have the same problem of needing to get your Max cam started up the same like you do with your Max Sense?
No, my Max Sense fires up no problem. So.
Oh, it's the Max Cam you're having trouble getting started.
The Max Cam. So right now I'm using Max Vision software, and so this guy isn't being detected. So, so that guy didn't get detected. So we'll go try. I'm trying to remember. I think we're using 2. So he's starting up. So this guy's finding a traffic cone.
Yeah. Okay, so you had to run it through the IDE, and that's the problem, is how do you do that when you don't
Yeah.
have the IDE?
So that,
Yep.
yeah, that's the problem we're having.
Yep.
Like a back away, back away, back away, back away. So that cone is about 6 inches tall.
Yeah,
I don't know,
that's
about 7
nice.
feet away now.
It's nice.
So
Cool.
it that way. It does find it that way. Okay. So there's a traffic cone.
Yeah, kind of.
So hopefully nobody puts any pop can shaped traffic cones up there, and we should be okay.
Cool. Nice, Pat.
Thank you. So that's my 2-minute update.
Good job. So, Harold, do you want to do you want to like give an overview? If you want, I can share to the group what you posted on the Discord, and if you want to talk about what all that means and who's doing what and that.
I can do that. Please share it up and I'll just talk.
Okay,
That's all.
let me just get that. Sharing.
Hi from Calgary, Harold.
What now?
Hello from Jim in Calgary.
Hey, Jim, how are you doing, man? We got a lot of new voices in there, don't we, in the Mr. Big Head? That's pretty good. So
I really don't want to be recorded, but I just wanted to say hello.
Okay, hello. We'll be working on Jim's project tomorrow night, by the way, that he asked us to do for somebody. It'll be fun. Internet time. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about at the moment. It was an amazing. I got 39 rolls of filament given to me on Sunday. They're all from Polymaker. I got them from a cat named Loyal Moses, who is the largest 3D printer channel on Twitch. He is organizing printing of Christmas toys for people. Now, this filament, I don't have to print Christmas toys with them. But I said if he gave me filament, I would use every ounce and printer I could to melt every one of these rolls into a toy for a kid. And so I'm making sure things are working on this printer at the moment. We'll see what happens. And so if you look on that link on the Discord, you'll have a couple things. One, my announcement, which you've already seen. Two, there's a link to the guidelines. These are all easy prints. There are no supports. They're supposed to go to kids who may not have anything at all during this Christmas holiday season as gifts for them. We're building a little town for them, so to speak. For instance, I've got some roadways being printed now. I have some trash cans that go on the side of those roadways about to start printing. There's about 35 models on printables. And in that, if you look on that document that you have there, you'll see where you can go find out what all the models are. If you go look in there and say, hey, I want some filament, I'll print some of these things. Fine, let me know. I've got about 9 or 10 at the very minimum. 9 or 10. Yeah, that looks like the ones. 9 or 10 at the minimum rolls of filament that have not been spoken for yet. So if you want to join in this, all you got to do is let me know. And the filaments, I have a couple of rows of PETG left, and that's a little harder to print. But a lot of the other rows are either Polymaker PL Lite or PL or Polymaker Pro. Filaments of various colors. I got a lot of white. I got some Army beige. I got a few other things like that left on there. And I'm more than welcome to drop you off a filament roll somewhere and have you print some stuff, and then we'll get them all collected and send them up to Loyal, who will eventually send them up to send them out to the kids and stuff. This is in conjunction with Polymaker, which is down in Houston, which after I was talking to the guys, it's actually southwest of Houston, one of the suburbs, that they've got a factory down there. It's unbelievable. And since we're all roboticists, they're going to be giving tours to their lights out factory, which literally from the time they get the pellets and mix all the recipe for a particular filament in, and they dump it in the hopper, the next time a human being actually probably touches that roll, this includes going in the bags and putting in the boxes and have those boxes going into cases. The next time that roll gets touched by human hands is more than likely when you're opening it because you bought it. Total lights out. And they'll be giving tours at some point in the future. They didn't say when, but that's in their plans. And so lots of fun stuff there. The toys are in. I say they're not really interesting toys, and you don't even have to be worry about multicolor prints if you don't want to. You can print them all solid colors, or if you want to get fancy, you can get fancy. Myself, I've gotten a little fancy on a couple of them, but for the most part, I'm printing PLA natural color trash cans right now, and red striped roadways. So it's not anything fancy. It's just there just needs to be literally, they have demand for thousands upon thousands of stuff to go to a whole bunch of kids. I don't know when the drop deadline is, but if you're interested and you read through, there's a link on there about guidelines of how they want you to print. If you're interested and you're going to be okay with those guidelines, which is really easy printing, I'm happy to know that I got filament for you to use, that kind of stuff. And that's the majority of what I got to say on that subject right there.
So, Harold, are you looking for people from the club to help you on printing some of this stuff?
Yes, if they wish. If you wish.
And how many toys would you get out of a roll?
Well, it depends. Let me stop this.
Maybe a way to ask it is, what's the time commitment that you're asking from people?
Well, I would like you to print as many as you could out of the roll, but if you can print anything and set like a plate, like this, in this case, I'm setting up to print. I'm setting up to print a plate full of stuff. So in this case, I'm going to be able to print about 3 plates of toys per model. Sometimes I'm going to get 4 out of them, but if you can give me a plate out of these things, that would be great.
What's a plate?
A plate is your print bed full.
Okay.
Pick a thing. If you give me at least 1 print bed full, I'll take it and I'll give you a roll of filament, and you can do whatever you want to do with the rest of the filament you want.
So I don't think you really answered my question about what kind of time commitment are you asking of volunteers?
Oh, I'm sorry. I made an assumption, and I shouldn't have made an assumption. These prints, for instance, I'm about to fire off 1 print that's going to print a bunch of trash cans, and it's going to be a 9.5-hour print. I have 1 print, the roads that I'm printing right now, print at about 3.5 hours. The whole plate, full of them, prints in about 3.5 hours. Now I'm going to print 8 of those plates just because I'm crazy. But if you're going to pick up some of these things and print one bed full, and they don't even have to be the same toy. If they're like, pick a half a dozen toys that all fit on your bed and print them all. They're easy prints. Print them at the same time. Things that are trucks are going to be pretty big. Mailboxes, taxis, all that kind of stuff will be kind of big. So that you maybe only get 1 or 2 on there. And that may take however long that takes your printer to do. Because the reason I didn't really tell you time is because I don't know what printers you're on. The Ender 3 may take 10, 15 hours to do it. The Bamboos may do that in 8 hours or 4 hours. what it is.
Well, I think I can give you a simple answer, and that is this: the prep time to set up the print. The printer itself does the work, and you just have to watch it every so often so it doesn't go bonkers on you.
Yeah.
So it's actually the setting up time and the removal time. It's the key thing there.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good point, John. But still, I think what I'm hearing Harold say is reckon on tending to it between 4 and maybe 15 hours.
Yeah, of your printer working without you having to do anything.
And supposing, and how many, well, I know this is kind of hard to generalize about, but how many plates do you think you'd get out of a roll? How many of these iterations would you end up doing?
Well, in my case, for the roads that I was just talking about, I'm going to get 8 plates out of that, but they're only 3-hour prints. The trash cans that I'm doing right now, I'm going to get 3 plates out of that, but they're 9 hours and almost 10 hours to print.
It,
So that, you got a big range of stuff there. So that's why I didn't really give you a really good answer about.
right, but what I'm hearing is between 3 and 10 plates to use up a reel.
Yeah, to use up a reel. But I'm saying you don't have to use up a whole reel if you don't want to. If you'll just give me 1 plate full of toys, I'll give you the whole reel. And the thing is, if you don't even want a reel, you just want to give me a plate full of toys, that's great too. The idea is we're trying to give back to the community some filament that's going to get thrown away. This filament all is from Amazon returns, and they were literally going to dump this in the recycler or put it somewhere where it could go away. And instead of doing that, they already had a partnership with Loyal, who's averaging about 225 to 275 people on his stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. He's currently on the road, but he's not streaming right. He is streaming, but not the big ones. And they said, "Hey, can you do something with this filament?" And he goes, "You betcha." And they had like 25 pallets full of these things. After they went through them all, they actually had 14 pallets of usable filament, because jerks would send back empty boxes with empty rolls in them. Boxes got bricks in them. Some of them got, just lead weight, all this other jerky stuff, right? They would use the whole thing, then return it and get their money back, so they had to go filter through all of that stuff to get it all done. He managed with 14 pallets of stuff, literally over $200,000 of filament that was just going to get thrown away. So instead of throwing it away, us 3D printer nerds, we don't really care what the box looks like. The filament's never been open. It's still vacuum packed. It's still all those other things that you like, that you want your filament to be. The box is beat up a little bit, and so, hey, can you guys use this? And the answer was yes. And so he did a little drive down to Washington, from Washington State, where he lives, down here to Houston, did the filtering, picked it up, and is driving back through, and he's stopping along the way, literally dumping off tons of filament as he goes.
And you said you didn't really know when the due date is, but you must have some idea. It must not be tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I suspect it's going to be the middle of November. I suspect it's going to be because I've got to ship it to him, or somehow get to all my pieces and parts to him, so that he will get them, sort them out, and have them shipped to their final destinations by Christmas. So he's working out how that shipping is going to go. So he hasn't told us when he needs the parts from us.
Okay. does anyone have any questions for Harold or expressions of interest, or do you want to contact Harold offline if you're willing to support him? I've got about 2 weeks that I could probably turn out a reel's worth. But do you have regular PLA? Because I've just got an end of 3.
Yeah, I've got the stuff I have is regular PLA. Okay. It's like when I say it's Polyterra, it's regular PLA made out of recycled materials. I've got Poly Pro, which is the same thing as the Inland, or equivalent, well, kind of equivalent to the Inland Plus, PLA Plus on it. Everything I have, except I've got 2 rows of PETG, everything else is PLA and should print exactly like your normal PLA prints.
Okay. Well, I'll volunteer to do a reel.
Okay. Paul, tell me where I can meet you up, and I've got a lot of white. I got some army beige. I got some other colors that you're welcome to choose from when I go back to the house, and I'll list out the if you have a color preference.
Why don't we work that offline through on Discord?
That brings me to a question basically I was having. Are we going to get together to watch the Canada thing? Are we going to have a meet-up type thing for that?
Yeah, let's tackle that next, John. But let's finish Harold's.
Well, you can combine the two together is what I'm telling you.
Good idea. Good idea.
Okay.
Not for me, but because I'm going to be going to the DPRG meeting and then flying to New Zealand that evening. So I better have my bags packed. But the other thing, Harold, I want to suggest is you post it on Discord, but a lot of the club members aren't on Discord. Many are, but many are not. So I want to suggest that you put it in on the email list.
Email, I can do that. I can do that.
And anyone else who is watching this after the recording or thinks about it and decides they are willing to pitch in, contact Harold. I think you're fairly easy to find on Discord and on the email server or through the email server.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Friends.
Oh, by the way, this is Doug Eames.
Oh, they know me.
Doug! Hey, good to see you, man.
Hey, oh, there's my favorite young man in the top right corner. How are you doing, David? He's my favorite youngin' out of all of y'all. So
good to see you, Doug.
Good to see y'all.
My wife calls this the grumpy old man group.
Well, there you go. I mean, hey, I've been there around for a long time. Is that John K? Yeah. John, are we in a competition to see who gets to be Santa Claus first? Because yours is a little bit lighter in color than mine. I think you win that contest.
Yes, but I got a haircut, so I don't have as much on top now as I did.
Well, it's good to see all my DPRG pals. Good to see y'all. Harold, I need to steal this computer.
Okay. I'm just sitting here. Let me get out of the way. Sit down.
Oh, no. I'm taking the computer to the other room for a minute.
Okay.
All right. If you're finished, if you're done, Harold.
Yes.
John asked about the meeting. So next Saturday is the meeting, the 26th, and so Pat, what time are you guys starting?
I believe we'll be starting around, I'm guessing 11 a.m. noonish our time, which will be 10 a.m. 11 your time.
Okay.
So on that note, I would like to test being able to record this, and I was hoping that Carl or somebody out there would have OBS Studio running where they could pin us and record it. because I'm just going to try to record it through my phone, but I can't record and transmit at the same time. So it's one or the other.
Carl, you're muted.
Yeah, I think we should make that happen somehow. I mean, I'm still on track, I think, for being there in person. Whether we meet in person at the Makerspace or we do it all virtual.
Yeah. So, Carl, we decided last week that we're going to meet in person at the Makerspace and watch the Canadian contest. So
That's cool.
the meeting will start at 10 a.m. Central. So you guys are in Eastern time zone, Pat?
We're in Eastern time zone. So
Okay.
I thought the meeting started at 11 a.m. your time, Central.
The meeting starts at 10 Central, but you know, that doesn't mean you have to start it at. But you said you were thinking of starting at 11. Oh, at 11 Eastern.
11 Eastern would be 10 Central.
Yeah. Yep.
So we need a few hours to get set up. So I would anticipate between 10 and 11 o'clock Central, so that we'd be ready to go.
Okay.
And then hopefully there's just the two of us. So hopefully we should be able to run our competition, assuming we're both going to need 3 runs to try to hit all 3 cones. Or 3 runs each to try to hit 1 cone.
Okay.
That's the case, maybe.
We'll see how it goes. So, and then I figured the other thing, whenever we're done, you guys get wrapped up, we can terminate that link and the local meeting, we can have do a show and tell for Robo Columbus robots.
Okay. The other one is we don't have a rain date for the event. So if it's going to be raining that day, I probably won't be traveling south, and we'll just have to do whatever we've got to do.
Okay.
So, it's I travel about 5 hours to get there. And then I know that there's a couple other guys. I don't know if John is going to be coming just to watch, and Tom, myself, and Norm, I believe another guy, and I think he's from the Ottawa area. So he's as well about 4 or 5 hours away.
Wow.
So to come watch, he participates in the Vancouver robotics group in Canada, up in BC. So looking forward to meeting some more roboticists.
Great. So you were asking Carl if he could run OCD. No, what's it?
OBS.
OBS. What are the constraints that you're working with, Pat?
In an OCD manner. No.
I am going to be broadcasting, basically using my, I'm going to try to use a tablet because it's got a wider screen picture format than a phone. And I'm going to just tether it to my phone and then basically call into Google Meet with my phone or with the tablet and then broadcast our event. So if Carl could join on Google Meet and pin us and then just record it.
What I'm just trying to figure out what limits us from using the regular Google Meet recording like we have done like we do for RBNVs.
Well, what could happen is that it doesn't keep our picture pinned the whole time.
Well, it doesn't do pinning at all.
Right. So if Pat's using one device as a remote camera, but another device to speak to, then it's
Yeah.
all bets are off. We don't.
Right.
I think the reason for OBS is that we can actually control what gets recorded and
Okay.
avoid the problem we had at the last monthly meeting.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I may try to use like a Bluetooth earphone as a microphone, and then use connected to the tablet, and do everything through there. So ideally, the sound and the video would match and would be good, but I'm not 100% sure. If you want to record it and then include it later on in your presentation, when you guys do the final video, you could merge the two videos together and put it out there.
Or we can, pick and choose. I think, Carl, you pinning and recording the Pat's video is great, and if the regular and we can record it with Google Meet as well.
Yeah, you do them in parallel. Sure.
Yeah, and kind of like we did for the last meeting, and that worked out great because we recovered.
If you think it's however you guys think it's going to work at your end, because at my end, I'm just trying to record and play, record video and sound as we go through our competition.
Yeah. So the way Google Meet recording works is whoever is emitting audio, whatever video they're sending or not sending, if they're not sending video, then it just records their headshot or just their initial if they don't have a headshot set. So it's the audio drives what gets recorded. There's no concept of windowing or pinning or anything like that. Just whatever video is coming from whoever's emitting audio is what gets into the recording, into the Google Meet recording. So if you put your Bluetooth through your iPad, then that is what your iPad is what would get recorded on Google Meet. But it'd be good to
assuming
have,
everybody else shuts up.
Yeah, right. When someone else chimes in, you do break away to them in the Google Meet recording. Okay, great. So do you need to practice this, or do we think we can pull it off?
I think we could pull it off. It's basically I'm just pulling up Google Meet on my tablet, and my tablet is tethered Wi-Fi to my phone. Basically, just get a Wi-Fi signal to my tablet.
Yeah.
So as long as the cellular service is good where we are, and Tom believes it's good, it shouldn't be an issue.
Okay. All right. We finished the queue, so let's go to open mic. Anyone got anything, topics to discuss, questions, stump the club? If not, we might call it an early night. Early night?
I got a bail too.
All right. Sounds like we'll call it. Good seeing you guys. See you next week, and then at the meeting on Saturday.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Bye.
Later, guys.